Hello, my name is Miki Nakati.
And my name is Zinka Batolek, and we will be performing a scene from Shakespeare's play Othello from Act 3, Scene 3.
Yeah, I will be playing Iago and
I will
Zinka.
be playing Othello.
All right, in this scene, before the action happens, we have a general of the army named Othello, and he's married to a lovely lady named Desdemona. The problem is, um, uh, Othello is a jealous, passionate man, and right as Othello and Iago enter a room, they see a man leave. Othello assumes that it's Cassio, who is a fallen lieutenant in the army, and so Desdemona approaches Othello, and she asks him, she begs him to reinstate him as top lieutenant in the army. The problem with this is Othello is already feeling a bit uneasy about Cassio and Desdemona's relationship, and Iago, who wishes desperately to be top lieutenant, plans on preying off Othello's emotions and feelings towards those two in order to put himself in a better position in the army.
We hope you enjoy our interpretation of the scene.
Michael Cassio, I dare be sworn. I think that he is honest.
I think so too.
Men should be what they seem, or those that not, they would seem what they might seem none.
Oh, certain, men should be what they seem.
Why then I think Cassio's an honest man.
Nay, yet there's more to this than that. I pray thee speak to me as thy thinkings. Give thy worst of words, thy worst of thoughts.
Good my lord, pardon me. Though I am bound to every act of duty, I am not bound to all that the slaves are free to. Utter my thoughts? Why, I say they are vile and false, as where's that palace wherein to foul things sometimes intrude not? Who has a beast so pure, but some uncleanly apprehensions keep leets on law days, and in sessions sit with meditations lawful?
Do dost conspire against my friend Iago, if two but thinks him wronged, and marks this ear a stranger to thy thoughts.
I do beseech you, I do beseech you. Though I perchance am vicious in my guess, as I confess it is my nature's plague to spy into abuses, and of my jealousy shape faults that are not, that your wisdom from one that so imperfectly conceits would take no notice, nor blind yourself into a trouble out of his scattering, and unsure observance. If it were not for your quiet, nor your good, nor for my manhood, honesty, and wisdom to let you know my thoughts.
What dost thou mean?
Good name in man and woman, dear my lord, is the immediate jewel of their souls. Who steals my purse, steals trash, it 'tis something, nothing, 'twas mine. 'Tis his and has been slave to thousands. But he that flinches from me, my good name, robs me of what not enriches him and makes me poor instead.
By heaven, I'll know thy thoughts.
You cannot, if my heart were in your hand, nor shalt whilst 'tis in my custody. Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. Good God, the souls of all my tribe defend from jealousy.
Why is this? Think'st thou I'd make a life of jealousy? To follow still the changes of the moon with fair suspicions? No, 'tis not to make me jealous to say my wife is fair, feeds well, loves company, is free of speech, sings, plays, and dances. Their virtue is, these are more virtuous. Nor from my own weak merits will I draw the smallest fear or doubt of her revolt. For she had eyes and chose me. No, Iago, I'll see before I doubt. When I doubt, prove. And on the proof, there is no more but this. Away at once with love or jealousy.
I am glad to hear this, for for now I shall reason with franker spirit to show the love that I bear you. Therefore, as I am bound, receive it from me. I have no proof, but look to your wife. See, observe her well with Cassio. Wear your eyes thus, not jealous nor secure. I would not have your free and noble nature, out of self bounty be abused. But look to it.
Dost thou say so?
She did deceive her father marrying you. When she seen the shaken fear her hand, she loved them most.
And so she did.
Why go to then, so that young, so young could give such a seeming to seal her father's eyes up close as oak. He thought it was witchcraft. But I am much too to blame, for I humbly do beseech your pardon for loving you too much.
I am bound to thee forever.
I see this hath little dashed your spirits.
Oh, not a jot, not a jot.
Trust me, I fear it has. I hope you will consider what is spoke comes from my love, but I do see you are moved. I am to pray that you refrain from straining my speech to larger and grosser issues, nor to larger things than suspicion.
I will not.
Should you do so, my lord, my speech should fall into such vile success, which in my thoughts aim not. Cassio's my worthy friend, my lord. I see you are moved.
No, not much moved. I do not think that this man is honest.
Long live she so, and long live you to think so.
And yet, how nature erring from itself.
Aye, there's the point. As to be bold with you, not to affect my many proposed matches of their own clime, complexion, and degree, whereto we see in all things nature tends foe one may smell in such a most rank foul disproportions, thoughts unnatural. Pardon me, I do not in position distinctly speak of her. Though I may fear her will, recoiling to better judgment, may fall to match you with her country forms, and happily repent.
Farewell, farewell. If more thou dost perceive, let me know more. Say unto thy wife to observe. Leave me, Iago.
My lord, I take my leave.
Why did I marry? This honest creature doubtless sees and knows more, much more than he unfolds. We hope that you enjoyed our interpretation of Shakespeare's scene from the play Othello. Now we will discuss and explain some of the choices we made in order to portray emotion effectively in the scene. So while acting out the scene, our main goal was to examine and show how Iago's false emotions of jealousy and slyness are visible, although he pretends to be Othello's supportive friend. Likewise, we chose to portray Othello as weak and submissive, although sudden bursts of anger reflect the development of his insanity throughout the play.
So since the characters are the ones that are delivering the emotion, I guess what do you think or like the differences between traditional Othello and the Othello that you portrayed?
Well, I think that in the traditional interpretation of this scene, Othello is portrayed as a person with more power and control, instead of being portrayed as weak and submissive.
Yeah, Othello's like a big great general, so people would assume that he in all cases that he would be extremely have that machismo.
Yes, however, in our interpretation, we chose to portray him as more weak, submissive, and insecure.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think that this shows emotions like they are more raw and natural in his state of being at that moment.
You're wearing your heart on your shoulder, basically.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to hide how you feel, you're being more open and direct about it. For me, I think, my character Iago, I think it's not exactly the same, because the traditional Iago is already a sly guy. He plays Othello's friend while he's plotting against him and his friend like Cassio. I think that what was interesting for our interpretation was I got to show my slyness indirectly to the audience, and while you had your back turned, or while I was turned away from you, or cracking up slightly in the middle of saying something that indicates that maybe my plan worked. But to you, you kind of made it. You saw my emotions as completely real.
I saw your emotions as real, and I saw you really as a friend that was trying to help me out in a difficult situation. But the audience can actually see that Iago is concealing his real emotions to Othello because, for example, when Iago is telling Othello that Desdemona might be cheating on him, he is standing right behind him and kind of whispering to his ear. Othello can only hear what Iago is saying, but the audience can also see the look on Iago's face, which is kind of happy and
Yeah,
a slyful,
deceiving
deceiving as
kind
well.
of
Yeah.
nature. Most people aren't happy to tell their friends that their wife might be cheating on them, and I think Iago in that bit, he was kind of playing like the devil on someone's shoulder, trying to lead them to doom or to bad choices.
So we can see how both Othello's and Iago's character develop emotionally throughout the scene.
It's really interesting how my character, whose emotions are mostly fine in order for his goal to be achieved. His emotions, he has a variety of emotions, but they all seem like logical responses to what's going on. When when Othello is desperate for Othello to give away this information, Iago reacts by being apprehensive and saying, "No, you might not want to know this." So Iago's emotions, his emotional growth is pretty static over the scene. He's not changing in any way that shows like an intrinsic growth.
Othello, on the other hand, has a much more dynamic growth of his emotions throughout the scene. So, at the beginning, he is really desperate to know what Iago has to tell him, and but when finally Iago does tell him what he thinks about Desdemona, that she's cheating on him, he becomes really uh, doubtful and shy and careful and also very thoughtful. It can also be seen how Othello's craziness kind of progresses throughout the scene. So when when Iago tells Othello the truth about Desdemona, or his thoughts about the truth about Desdemona, Othello becomes kind of crazy and loses control of the situation, and that is the moment that he is really under Iago's power. And however, when Iago steps over the line by trying to tell him once more that Desdemona might be really cheating on him, Othello kind of explodes with like farewell, farewell, which signals that he is not ready to accept that information fully yet, and also how he has the need of control. In order to emphasize the shifts of emotions and characters, we use different filming techniques in our vidcast. So, for example, when two people are in the scene at the same time, this adds to the dynamic of the scene and
Yeah,
makes it much faster and more dynamic.
but usually when there's like just one character or one actor on stage, you really focus on what that person's saying or what the person is doing. It makes their emotions easier to read. You can when cause like there's a pretty interesting flow of emotions throughout the scene with Othello, who starts off with his insecurities brought out to the open because he feels like his wife might have ulterior motives now that she's coming to him saying, put Cassio on top, make Cassio your first lieutenant again. So he's feeling a bit insecure, like, why is my wife using me? And so when I see this, so Othello takes me as a really close friend. Like, he thinks that I'm I'm a very close friend, so he's gonna wear his emotions more raw and exposed, and than he would with most other people. So I use this to my advantage, so that
So, yes, the scenes where only one character is portrayed are used for the purpose of making the emotions seem more transparent to the audience.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's, to the audience, it's much easier to see what emotion the specific character has when he is the only character in the scene, while in the scenes with both Othello and Iago together, this kind of speeds up the whole progression of the scene. Throughout the whole scene, except for the very last two lines of Othello's speech. Both characters are filmed in a way that signifies that they're talking to each other, which means that there is a correspondence between them. However, the last two lines that Othello says, he speaks directly to the camera, which signifies that he is reflecting in a short soliloquy without anyone else hearing him about his personal emotions, and that lets the audience know his true feelings at that moment.
Well, thank you for watching our interpretation of Othello. We tried really hard. We're not the best actors, but we tried really hard to make the emotions in the scene really clear, so that our interpretation of the play was interesting for everyone to watch. And thank you.
Yes, thank you.